Hi and welcome back. My name's Amanda Kelly and this is Bacon Bits. Bacon Bits is a series of trainings designed with your busy schedule in mind. Bacon Bits provides technology integration support and tips for your classroom. This week we're going to focus on how to get organized on your Google Drive. To get started, go ahead and log into your Google account and from the waffle icon at the top, select Google Drive. For today's bit, I'm going to be using this demonstration account that has lots of random files in it. So if your drive looks like this, let's talk about how to get it organized so you can find things faster. First, let's talk about the components of Google Drive. On the left is the menu where you control all the things in Drive, like creating new documents, things that are a priority, the things that are in your drive, the things that are shared with you, your recently accessed material, things that you star, and then your trash. On the bottom, it talks about your storage. Now, with a Google for Education account, you do have unlimited storage, so this is not something that you really need to monitor if you're using your school account. However, if you have a personal account, it will tell you when you're getting close to full. At the top, you have the suggested section. This section shows you the files that you've most recently worked in. The next section is your folders, and the last section is all your loose files that you haven't organized yet. At the top, you do have a search option, so that way if you're looking for a specific file and you know the name of it, you can type it into the search to find it quickly. Let's start by making some folders on our drive. To create a folder, click the New button at the top, and the first option is to create a folder. Now, when you're creating folders, I want you to think about what kinds of materials you're going to be working with. Maybe you're a teacher that has been around for a while, and so you want to organize it by school years. Maybe you're a teacher that teaches multiple different subject areas, and so you want to label your folders by your subject areas. Maybe you want to do both. So think about how you organize your regular paper materials in a binder. Your file folders are going to be like dividers in a binder, and that's how you separate your files. So on my Google Drive, I'm going to create ones for all of my subject areas, and then I'm also going to create a folder where I keep all of my administrative things, like if I'm tracking attendance or I have things from my superiors that I want to keep on hand. All right, now that I've created my folders, there are a few tricks that you can do to help organize the folders in a way that you want to make them appear. So Google Classroom organizes them in alphabetical order automatically. So if you want to cheat the system, you can add numbers in front of your labels, or you can add letters in front of the labels to put them in a specific order. So on my Google Drive, I'm going to put numbers here so I can put them in the order that I actually go through those subject areas, putting my admin files at the bottom. Now you're going to see that I did have a folder already created called Classroom. This folder are all the files within a Google Classroom that I have here in this account. So I'm going to give this a number to put it at the very end because I want to make sure that I don't edit anything in this folder because it is linked to Google Classroom. To change the name of a folder so that you can put it in a specific order, right-click on the folder and then select Rename. You can see that when I put the number 1 in front of Latin, it automatically pushes it to the top of the list. So now if I put numbers in front of my folder names, I can put them in any order that I want. Again, to rename a folder, right-click on the folder and then select Rename from the menu. Now for the folder that's housing all of my Google Classroom files, I'm going to give it a different label. Instead of a number, I'm going to put the letter Z in front of the folder name. And that's because in Google Drive, they alphabetize first in numerical order and then by alphabet. So by putting Z in front of Classroom, it's automatically always going to be last on the list. All right, now that I've labeled all my folders and I've put them in the order that I want them, the next tip I'm going to show you is how to color the folders so that certain ones stand out to you. So for example, we talked about this Classroom folder down here at the bottom. I want to change it to a color that reminds me that I don't want to change anything in this folder. So to change the color of the file folder, you're going to right-click on the folder, and in the menu, you're going to see the option to change the color. Now, all the file folders are going to default to the gray, but you can change it to any color here in this option menu. So I'm going to change it to red to remind me to leave that folder alone. Now you can color coordinate all of your folders to make it appealing to you and to make it make sense in your mind. So here I've color coordinated my files with things that make sense to me. Now I'm ready to move on to the next step. Now that I have my folders created, on the bottom, I'm going to move my loose files into folders so that they're organized. You can move a file into a folder one of two ways. The first option is to click the file and then drag it to the folder that you want to put it in. Another option is you can right-click on the file. In the menu, select Move To. It's going to pull up a menu with all of your folder names, and here you can select the folders. Now this is a great option if you have subfolders within your folders so that you can move through those subfolders. When you've selected the folder that you want the file to go in, click the Move Here button on the bottom of the menu, and it'll move that file to that folder. I'm going to show you one more time, but this time I'm going to move it into a place that has a subfolder. Again, you're going to right-click on the file that you wish to move, and then click Move To from the menu. A sub-menu is going to appear where you then find the location of where you want to save the file. So I'm going to click the main folder and then the subfolder. Now I have it where I want it. I'm going to click the blue Move Here button to save that file in that location. If you have multiple files that you want to move into the same location, you can select multiple files at once and then click and drag them to that folder. To select multiple files at once, click your first file, then hold down the Control key and click any additional files that you wish to select. So as I'm holding the Control key, I've clicked these next two files. I'm going to release the Control key. Now click any of the files that you have selected and drag them. You're going to see here I have that red 3. It's saying that all 3 of those files are being picked up, and I'm going to drop them into this folder. Now all 3 files have been moved. Now if you accidentally make a mistake, you do see this prompt here at the bottom that tells you that they've been moved. If you make a mistake, you can click that undo button within the time limit and it will undo your action. So here, say I accidentally moved this file into my classroom file, I can click this undo button. It will undo my drag and drop so that I can put it in the correct location. All right, once I've organized all my files, you're going to see that all I see are the folders and there's no more loose files on the bottom. At the top, it's always going to have your suggested files here, so that's just showing you what you've recently accessed. Now let's talk about how to organize files that have been shared with you, because oftentimes when we're working in Google, we're working in files that have been shared and are collaborative. So I'm going to go to the Shared With Me section of my Google Drive, and you're going to see here I have 2 files that have been shared with me that I want to make easily accessible. The first way is to add the file to your drive. So on the file that's been shared, again, you're going to right-click on the file, and in the menu, you're going to see the option to add a shortcut to drive. This is going to shortcut the file that you're selecting to the location on your drive so that you can access it quickly. So when you click Add Shortcut to Drive, that menu is going to pop up that directs you through your folders. So follow the menu to get to the folder location where you want to place that file. When you get to where you want to place it, you're going to click Add Shortcut. Now the file is going to stay in the Share With Me section because it is a file that is owned by someone else and has been shared with you. But now if you go back to your drive and go to the folder where you've created your shortcut, you can also access that file here. So now you can put shared files on your drive so that you can find them quickly. Going back to the Shared With Me, there's another way to access files quickly. Say you have a file that you use frequently and you want to be able to access very fast without having to go through folders and subfolders. You do have the option to star a file, and it'll appear here in the Starred Items section of Google Drive. So on this next file, I'm going to right-click again, and then from the menu, you're going to see the option to Add to Starred. So now it's been added to the Starred section, and on the left menu, if I click Starred, I'm going to see that file there. So this is a great way to save files that you need to access daily, like attendance records, conference notes, lesson plans, and so on. All right, now it's time for your Try It. For your Try It today, I'd like for you to organize your Google Drive. Go ahead and log into your Google account And from the top waffle menu, select the Drive icon to go to Google Drive. Once you're in Google Drive, I want you to look at your file folders and create a file folder system that helps you stay organized. Think whether you want to organize by school year, by subject, maybe you want to create subfolders for each of your students to organize the work that's being submitted to you. Once you've created your folders, and again, to create a folder, you're going to click that New button, and then click the folder icon from the drop-down menu, and then label your folder. Then click the blue Create button. Once you've created your folders, I want you to change the color of one folder. So for my Try It folder, I'm going to right-click on the folder, and then from the menu, select Change Color, and then select any color from the menu. Again, you can reorganize your folders by adding numbers or letters to the front of the name so that you can put them in a specific order. Once you have your folders created, try dragging and dropping files into that folder. All right, I hope you found this bit helpful. Don't forget to take the quiz to get credit for your CEUs, and I'll see you next week.